Welcome to the Political Ferret Show. New content will be uploaded every Wednesday and Sunday, and if you like this kind of content, consider becoming a Patreon and help with just $1 a month to make the change possible. Lately I had an interesting discussion in the comment section that reminded me on the time when I was young and left-wing, because I said pretty much the same thing. So if you are in such a situation, you think about what was the stuff that would have convinced me and what is the stuff that definitely did not convince me, but a lot of people thought it would be a good example or a good argument and so on. And I see this to this very day. A lot of the stuff that I heard back in the 80s and 90s about left-wing and right-wing politics comes over again, and I understand that it is not really something that is appealing to, especially when you're young and left-wing. So let's tackle that. And it was pretty much about more or less one part of the Communist Manifest, and today we're gonna talk or concentrate just about this part, where Marx pretty much pointed out that when there is no difference between mental and physical labor, that means that every physical labor has also a mental component, and on the other way, mental has also a physical component, then labor becomes more than just the thing that you do for getting bread, because then you can take out of that some more value, personal value and so on. And the thing is, from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs, is something that I discussed a lot on this channel and we will not tackle today. What we gonna have to do is talk a little bit about this mental and physical labor and so on, and what a lot of people say. You see, when we concentrate on just that, because this is one of the, I think, from my point of view, this is one of the most important things in the whole Communistic Manifest. And a lot of people, of course, this whole discussion did start with, you did not read it. Yeah, I read it 20 years ago in original German. So, but the thing is, he does exactly the same thing that the 90s Christians did, and say, oh, in the Bible there is no mentioning of the Crusades, so there have never been Crusades because the Bible would tell us if it was true, because everything that is true is in the Bible. You have to read between the lines, especially in books that are 100 years and older. You have to read between the lines. The world of Marx does not exist anymore. It's a completely different world. So you have to try to understand what he meant, and you have to see what people did based on the book. So what I pointed out is that, from my perspective, the biggest problem with Marx is that he describes not actually human beings but suppressed demigods. He points pretty much out that humans are wonderful and that they are just shitty because the evil capitalists make them shitty. And I would say this is not true, right? And so we have to go a little bit into that. So the thing is that when you talk with the hard left, they will point out that in every job can be appreciated by those who and will be appreciated if they can really do it, because all the doctors will be happy to save people, and all the nurses will be happy to help them, and all the cleaning personnel is happy when they clean out shit out of the toilet. The thing is, there are a lot of jobs that are not really great. And I had a discussion lately, 1 year ago, something like that, when I pointed out, yeah, come over, I know a factory, and there is a lot of fucked up jobs there. And then he pointed out and say, oh, this should be outlawed, that these and these jobs still exist. This is crazy. He really wants to outlaw jobs that are not really great. And I mean, he himself, of course, does not work. He thinks he's a politician, but he works about 2 hours a month or something like that, and does not get money, and lives home at mummies and daddies. But he wants to outlaw jobs, so it's quite crazy. But when you talk to somebody who is a little bit more sane, they will still say something in the likes of, everybody is good in what he loves, so do what you love, then you will be really good, and when you're good, you can live by that, and don't make jobs that make you so good that you simply hate. And that's a problem, because when you think about it, and let's take me for example, I could do different things. In reality, I could do different things. One thing, I could do Minecraft. I mean, I'm very constructive in Minecraft. I do things, and people could use these things theoretically. Or I can make YouTube videos. I mean, I might do it right now. And I can write on my novel, for example, or I can do my job. And the thing is, when you now sort this, or say, okay, what is the thing that I would like to do most the rest of the week? I mean, now it's weekend, but if I can say, okay, I do this and that one for the weekend, I would say, well, Minecraft would give me really a lot of joy. Doing YouTube videos, well, less so. I mean, it's not as cool as doing Minecraft because it's more work and less fun. And writing my novel, well, this is even more work for a lot of things. And I would really rather do my YouTube videos than writing on my novel. But going to my job, I don't know. If I could do whatever I want, I would not go to work. I would play Minecraft or make YouTube videos or write on my novel. But on the other hand, what do people think and what do people consider as useful? Playing Minecraft, not so much. Making YouTube videos, a little bit more. Some of you think it's a good idea and you give me money via Patreon. Thanks you very much for that, by the way. Or writing my novel, well, even less than the YouTube video because I have not publicized it yet, so nobody can have something. But some people say, okay, this is a good thing, you should do that. But a lot of people would say, it is important that I do my job. I mean, I save lives after all, and this is worth something for a lot of people. So people will say, hey, well, if I have something to say and I can say what you do, then do your job. Do not play Minecraft, do your job, because it makes more sense for me to do your job than to play Minecraft. So if we translate this now to money, do I get money for playing Minecraft? No. Do I get money for my YouTube videos? Hardly no. Do I get money for writing my novel? No. Perhaps if it is a hit I can do a shitload of money, but writing the novel and releasing it often makes no money in the end, but my job brings money. And if we compare now all these three things, we will see that those stuff which is considered by the population as useful is that stuff where you get money. And those things do not really correlate with the things I really want to do and where my heart and my soul is really. I mean, I like my job. I would not say that I hate my job, but it's not really where my heart is. If you now go to supply and demand, you have to think about how many people can play Minecraft and would like to play Minecraft, and how many people can do YouTube videos and would like to do YouTube videos, and how many can write a novel and do write a novel, and how many can do my job and would want to do my job. You see that you will not find a lot of people who can do my job. There are not a lot of people who can do my job because you need certain qualifications, and then you have to do that, and a lot of people do not want to do this certain job. So there is a correlation. When you have a lot of people who enjoy something and would like to do something, there is not a lot of money in that. But the thing is, this had also something to do with how important the whole populace think that your work is. And we have to keep that in mind for a little bit later. So if we now have a line, a spectrum if you want, where you have on the one hand it is very useful, something that you do is very, very useful, being a doctor or something like that. On the other hand, it's absolutely useless, like playing Minecraft or playing World of Warcraft or something like that. And then on the other axis you point out that you get a lot of money or not a lot of money. You will find that the majority who do something that is quite useful get good money. I mean, you have a lot of people who do something that is a lot useful and do not get a lot of money, of course, and you get some people who do not so useful things and get a lot of money. But that's the market, because what is useful and what is not is absolutely subjective. Is an iPhone useful? Well, I would say no, the price is not justified, but a lot of people would disagree. So, on the other hand, if you do something that is quite useless, you often do not get a lot of money for that. So, there is a trend. The more useful something is, the more money you get. Not every time. Some people do useless stuff and get a lot of money for that, and some people do very important stuff and get very little money out of that. But the general trend is there. On the other hand, if you say you stick with the axis of useful and useless and give the other axis something that makes people happy and something that makes people unhappy, there is also seemingly a correlation insofar as that things that are really, really, really important do not make people really happy. It's this nonsense stuff that makes us happy. It's strange, and when you go down, when you say, okay, but we want to improve the world and so on, if you have this mindset and say, I would want to work for the betterment of society, this is not true for you. But a lot of people who say that are 16 years old, and if you ask somebody who is 40, 50, and say, would you rather work for yourself or your family or the society? They all say for himself, for the family, all the people. And they do things that make them happy as a hobby. That's the thing. Things that make you happy, you can do this as a hobby. When you want to restore furniture, a lot of people do this as a hobby. And it is a good thing that they do this as a hobby. But they do something that is considered useful by the majority of people to get the money. The idea that there are 100% of the jobs that have to be done can make at least as many people who are needed to do the jobs happy is wrong. There are some jobs that are terrible. Nobody would want to do them. And there is no mental factor in that. If you are a steel worker, there is no this idea of division between labor of the body and labor of the mind, and that you can intermix that. It goes absolutely against specialization. I mean, of course, you can say he has to do this 2 hours a day and then he can 6 hours do something in the office or something like that. But you have specialists for that. It's perhaps possible, but I think it is also a question. A lot of these soy boys who point out that there is for everything, we should just share the jobs and share the work and so on, put them in a steel mill. I mean, it does not work. You need qualifications. Not everybody can do every job. And it does not work that way. It just does not work that way. You can't say, okay, I was in a company where they tried that, because they kicked out a lot of workers, which was a stupid idea in the first place, and then they had 2 little people who can do the job, and they had this wonderful idea to go to the girls in I think public relations, marketing, something in the line of that, bookkeeping. And they said to them, do over hours in the factory. Go down and assemble cars. Yeah, I mean, nobody even tried it. But even if you would have to try it would have not gone really, really great, because you need a lot of time to get these people into working well in this environment and do the job properly. It just doesn't work. And it is not of lack of trying, and a lot of evil capitalists try that, because it would be so much cheaper if you have a lot of all-rounders who can do everything. It would just be cheaper. So this idea of we just do, each of every one of us does everything, and we share the manual labor and the mental labor, and so everybody has exactly the mental labor and the physical labor as much as he wants, and then we are all happy. It does not work. It does not work. So the thing is, we all had dreams, okay? When we were young, we all had dreams what we want to do with the world. And the most expensive thing that you can keep or sell is these very dreams. You can say, I stick with this dream, I become a dancer, I become a musician, I become a professional Minecraft player. This thing will make you poor, but you can sell this. And you can sell it and can say, okay, I do something else that will bring me money, and I can money doing that. And the thing is, when adults told me that when I was 16, I just told them that they have given up. And it is wrong to give up, because they sold their soul to the capitalists. And this is where I was wrong. You do not sell to the capitalists, you sell to the society. And that's the important thing. Also in a communist society where everybody, there are tasks that have to be done. Still, we need steel, so somebody has to stand there in the heat. That means that if nobody wants to do that, they will pick out those who are able to do that, and then they have to do that. And it will not really be their decision, because there is no reason to do this out of voluntarily reasons. Somebody will have to take them, put them there and say, do it, because you are able and therefore you have to do that. In a capitalist society, you have the choice. You can keep your dreams and pretty much starve, but it is your decision. Or you can sell it. You can sell your dreams, not to the evil capitalist, but to society. You can say, okay, society, what jobs do you want me to do? And society will answer. And it will answer in the form of prices and wages. It will say, we need a lot of doctors, of engineers, and things like that. And it will say it in a way that it says you can do a lot of money, you can get a lot of money if you do these jobs. And society will tell you what they do not need. They just do not need another musician. They just do not need that. And this is the reason why society will not give you a lot of money for being a musician. And that's the important thing. You see, this is the thing that I think is a problem with Marx. Marx thinks that the whole society is better as it is, humans are better as they are, and everything is better as it really is. And we can all work for a common goal, and it doesn't work that way. And the next thing is, and I pointed this out in other videos, that there are some people who say, well, I'm a good psychiatrist, and there are some other people who are very good in cleaning my toilet and cleaning out my shit. So they have to do that, because this is what they can do. So they stand on a very high level and look down and say, well, I am good for telling people what to think and what to say, and other people are just good enough to clean my shit. And they should be happy to do that. And they should not really have a choice and have not really a saying in that. I think it is important that we have a say in what we do and what we want. And we have to read properly what society expects from us and needs from us. If there is nobody else there who would work in a steel mill, then the prices for work in steel mills would go up and up and up, and you can do millions in working in a steel mill. But that's not the case, because in the end a lot of people can do that. And that's the thing. And a lot of people can do those stuff that are not really paid well. Is it unfair that a lot of these professions that are really important, especially in the medical sector, I would say, that they do not get a lot of money? No, I think it's unfair. But the thing is, a lot of people would like to do these jobs and find it good, because in the end, I mean, you heal people. It's a great job. But there are other jobs that are not so great. Especially in engineering, where you sit around and draw construction papers. This is boring. This is really boring. But you can do good money, because nobody wants to do that. And that's the thing. If you end up in a situation where you say everybody can do whatever he loves, in the end, I would say half the people would only play computer games. Nobody would do anything. Not because people are evil, but because this is what we are. We are not demigods. We are egoistic and we are short-sighted. And if we can change that, if we can change that human beings are way better than they are right now, all these utopian ideas would work. And that's the interesting thing. In this moment, a capitalist idea, a national capitalist idea would work perfectly. A communist society would work perfectly. A Christian utopian idea would work perfectly. All these things would work if humans would be better than they are. But we are simply not. And we can try to improve on ourselves, but we can only try to improve ourselves. You cannot really improve the world, especially not with a gun in your head. We can discuss each other, we can listen to each other, and we can try to grow on each other. And we can try to find at least a compromise which we all could accept. The solution is in finding peace, not killing your opponent. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.